The small town of Gray Hill was famous for its tranquil surroundings and close-knit community. Among the residents was Laura Benson, a local radio host known for her soothing voice and late-night show, Midnight Whispers. The show was a mix of eerie tales, unsolved mysteries, and call-ins from listeners who shared their own spooky experiences. One stormy night, as lightning cracked the sky and rain poured relentlessly, Laura prepared for her broadcast. The station was eerily quiet, her colleagues having left early due to the weather. She double-checked the equipment and went on air. Good evening, Gray Hill. This is Laura Benson with Midnight Whispers. Tonight, we have a special treat. Our lines are open for your scariest stories. But first, let me share an old legend from our town's dark past. Laura recounted the tale of the Gray Hill Asylum, a mental institution that had been shut down decades ago after a series of mysterious deaths. The building, now abandoned and decaying, was said to be haunted by the spirits of its tormented patients. As she finished the story, the phone lines lit up. Laura picked up the first call. "You're on the air. What's your name?" The voice on the other end was shaky. "Hi, Laura. This is Tim. I live near the old asylum, and I think something strange is happening there." Laura leaned forward, intrigued. "Go on, Tim." "Every night around midnight, I hear screams coming from the building. I've seen shadows moving in the windows, but there's no one there. It's like the place is alive." Laura felt a chill run down her spine. "Have you told anyone else about this?" "Yes, but no one believes me. They think I'm imagining things. I was hoping you could look into it, maybe do a segment on it." "Thank you, Tim. I'll see what I can find out. Stay safe." The night continued with more calls, each one more unsettling than the last. Then, just before the end of her show, the phone rang one final time. Laura answered. "Hello, you're on Midnight Whispers. Who am I speaking with?" There was a long pause, followed by a whisper. "Help me." Laura's heart pounded. "Who is this? Where are you?" "The asylum. They won't let me leave." The line went dead. Laura tried to call back, but there was no answer. She sat back, shaken, but composed herself enough to sign off for the night. After the broadcast, Laura couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. She decided to visit the asylum the next day. Armed with a flashlight and her recording equipment, she arrived at the decrepit building just as the sun began to set. The asylum loomed over her, its windows dark and empty. She pushed open the rusted gate and stepped inside. The air was thick with decay, and every sound echoed eerily. She began to explore, recording her observations. Gray Hill Asylum, June 10th. The building is in worse condition than I imagined. There's an overwhelming sense of sadness here. As she ventured deeper, she found old patient records, restraints, and disturbing drawings on the walls. She was about to leave when she heard it, a faint cry for help. "Hello? Is anyone there?" Following the sound, she descended into the basement. The cries grew louder, more desperate. Laura's flashlight flickered, casting long shadows. She reached a heavy door at the end of the hallway. The cries were now unmistakable, coming from inside. Gathering her courage, she pushed the door open. Inside was a small, dimly lit room. In the center, chained to the wall, was a frail figure, a woman, her clothes tattered, her face gaunt and hollow. "Please, help me," the woman whispered. Laura rushed to her side, trying to free her. "Who did this to you?" "They, the spirits of the patients. They need a keeper." Laura's blood ran cold as she realized the woman looked familiar. It was her own reflection staring back at her from a mirror on the opposite wall. She was the prisoner. Suddenly, the door slammed shut. The chains clamped around her wrists. She screamed, but no one could hear her. The spirits of the asylum had found their new keeper. Back at the radio station, the next night's broadcast went on as usual. But this time, the voice on Midnight Whispers was different. It was colder, more sinister. "Good evening, Gray Hill. This is Laura Benson. Tonight, we have a special treat. Our lines are open for your scariest stories." As the residents of Gray Hill tuned in, none suspected the truth. Laura was trapped, her soul bound to the asylum, while a malevolent force now controlled the airwaves, waiting for its next victim.